Welcome back to the IBSP. Here's your host, Boxing News.
Canelo Alvarez has reached out to William Scull, and look, let's break it down honestly and objectively as possible. And Canelo Alvarez team have approached William Scull for a May title fight unification where Canelo Alvarez could turn out to be two-time undisputed by fighting and beating William Scull. William Scull has went on record and said this plainly and openly. He also added that January 10th, there will be an official meeting between both teams to finally agree on every single detail. Now, in about a week is when this meeting will take place. Now, you know William Scull is telling the truth. You know all of this is real, and you know it's verifiable because you've even seen Jake Donovan from the ring come out and report. You know, William Scull, Canelo Alvarez, they are in talks. And he also goes on to state that William Scull's team has been contacted by Team Canelo. And he also states that William Scull is one of several options being explored. So you know when Canelo Alvarez negotiates, he never has just one name on the table. But the interesting thing about this Scull negotiation is the fact that he has a deadline date as to when he expects to finalize all of these details. So that's very interesting. But this is my thoughts on all the other potential opponents as well. I think Terrence Crawford is a huge potential opponent for Canelo at this point. I think Turki Al-Sheikh's going to offer him a lot of money for that fight. Now, I get it. Terrence Crawford does nothing for Canelo Alvarez other than a payday. It's not history. Canelo Alvarez is going to be called a cherry picker. He's going to get slandered for fighting Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford literally offers Canelo Alvarez nothing at 168. Nothing. It's a pointless fight. But since Turki Al-Sheikh may be willing to offer Canelo Alvarez a lot of money, that's why that fight has to be another option for Canelo. Another option for Canelo Alvarez is going to be Christian Mbili, who I believe is number one in the WBC and the WBA ranked. And also Bob Arum has been chasing this fight for Christian Mbili and Canelo Alvarez for 2025. This is a fight Bob Arum has been begging for, chasing, and I'm sure they would give up everything to make that fight happen. So I believe that's another option for Canelo Alvarez. The last option for Canelo Alvarez for me, coming in the May, I believe, is going to be Jermall Charlo. I mean, you've seen Jermall Charlo and Edgar Berlanga was the last two finalists for Canelo Alvarez to fight in September, and they end up going with Edgar Berlanga because Jermall was not ready. You remember Canelo Alvarez had already signed to fight Jermall Charlo, and Jermall Charlo pulled out because he was not ready. No matter what happens, you notice Team Canelo seems highly focused on making a fight with Jermall Charlo, and they've been highly focused on that since about 2019. These guys have stayed on trying to make a Jermall Charlo fight. So that's a fight they've always wanted. That's a fight that keeps popping up, and I think that's a high probability of a fight to happen. Now, what's interesting about all of this is you've seen Eddie Reynoso say earlier last year, that, hey, they plan to continue working with Al Heyman. They stated that we'll speak with Mr. Heyman soon, and we are very grateful for the special treatment he's given us. So it also looks like they're going to continue their working relationship with Al Heyman, and I don't know how that's going to work out with Turki Al-Sheikh. But one thing I do know, based on this information, is that Canelo Alvarez is in negotiations with William Scull. He has other options on the table, and nothing is certain as of yet.